Manchester United, with Matic performing so superbly well over the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Brighton have got themselves a proper player, and England Rugby send home Manu Tuolangi and Denny Solomona. And hopefully at some point during the next hour or so we'll be describing an England victory in the 4th Investec Test match between England and South Africa as well at Old Trafford. They are about to resume after tea. They had a rain delay earlier, so everything has got slightly moved back. So the evening session is only just about to get underway, and South Africa are doing so 182 for 6. So England need only 4 more wickets to win that. And they are obviously in a very decent place as they do so. Maharaj is there alongside Faf du Plessis, the skipper. The skipper has 60 not out to his name. Maharaj has only faced 7 deliveries and got 3. It was Moeen Ali who did the damage just before tea, but James Anderson is about to get the evening session underway. So hopefully we'll be back with John Norman to round up proceedings and another England victory. But let's get stuck into the football. And the former Chelsea, Manchester United and England midfielder Ray Wilkins has told TalkSport he can't believe Antonio Conte is currently frustrated at Stamford Bridge, and he can totally understand why. Wilkins spoke with TalkSport 2's Transfer Centre and explained to Dan Windle that he can't understand some of their business this summer.
I cannot for the life of me understand the man Matic going to one of the biggest rivals in Manchester United, with Matic performing so superbly well over the last 2 or 3 seasons. I just can't see that for the life of me. Nathan Ake, all these young men that I've been talking about for such a long time. Chalobah at 6 million has gone to Watford. Now, please tell me the differential between Bakayoko at 40 million at the same age and Nathaniel Chalobah, who's just won the World Cup for England at 22 years of age. I don't see £34 million difference, to be perfectly honest. I think Chelsea are weaker squad-wise. I think Antonio Conte should be worried. I think he looked worried yesterday. And they need to be delving into their cash to bring some more players in, because some of the lads they've let go out as well. And I look at Solanke, who's left for Liverpool. Liverpool, he'll play with Klopp this year. He can't stop scoring. Tammy Abraham can't stop scoring for Swansea. These young men, in my humble opinion, should have been given an opportunity at Chelsea.
He's obviously got a very robust stance, Antonio Conte, on the business that they've done, but you mentioned there the players that they've allowed to leave as well. So reports that Alvaro Morata slightly off the pace ahead of the start of the season. So the business they have got done has also been a frustrating process for Conte.
I think you're spot on, Dan. It wasn't the fact that they lost yesterday to Arsenal, because I thought at times there was some very good football played by Chelsea, and the way they moved the ball quickly. It was the body language that worried me, from Conte right the way down. They didn't look happy. They didn't look a side that was united, and I think they're in for a tough season. If new faces aren't brought into the squad, obviously you've got the genius that is Hazard that is sitting out at the moment with a bad ankle, but they're going to need a little bit more than Eden Hazard just to come around and turn this around.
But Ray, you've got lots of experience on seeing a squad, the assembling, the pre-season process ahead of trying to defend the title, which Chelsea are. How can they get players in, bed them in, and get this side firing ahead of, Burnley on opening day, but the challenge has gone Tottenham in the first couple of weeks as well?
No, it's always very difficult. It's always very difficult whenever you bring new players into a club. That's why I think Tottenham will go quite well this season, because they've basically got the same squad of players, and they'll do reasonably well, I'm sure. But it's, these players now, when they are coming, they're all on the same wavelength football-wise. They'll have the same footballing intelligence, so there won't really be a problem as far as that's concerned. But you've got to get them into the club and basically get them into that side. There's lots and lots of football to be played this year, what with the Champions League coming about for Chelsea. And yesterday I was slightly worried, being a Chelsea supporter.
Well, Nemanja Matic has gone to Manchester United and they are in action tomorrow night in the Super Cup as they take on Real Madrid. That match will be live on TalkSport and it could feature water breaks. The match being played in Skopje, Macedonia, where it's been above 40 degrees Celsius recently. The UEFA delegate will make the decision about that 90 minutes before kick-off. Madrid could have Cristiano Ronaldo in their lineup. After his extended break, he has been named in their 24-man squad. Brighton and Hove Albion have completed the transfer of Dutch international Davy Pröpper from PSV Eindhoven. The terms of the deal haven't been released. However, Brighton have said it is a club record fee on a 4-year deal. The 25-year-old has played more than 250 senior games in his homeland, including Champions League and international matches. He scored 43 goals from midfield. He's told the Brighton website it's the biggest competition in the world, so this will be a great challenge and I think I'm ready for it. I know Danny Holler, who played here a few years ago, and he told me a lot about the club. He was very complimentary and that was a big help. Not every club in Holland has a good stadium. I really like the one here. Well, the Brighton manager, Chris Hughton, has been speaking with Sky Sports News.
He's a player that doesn't miss many games, and for the value and what we've had to pay for him, it's a significant signing for us, and really look forward to seeing him.
Elsewhere, Ronald Koeman has once again reiterated he is confident that Everton will get the deal for Swansea's Gylfi Sigurdsson. It's thought they've offered £40 million. Koeman has been speaking with Sky Sports News.
Close, but okay, we have to wait, but still the deal is not done. Everybody knows we are looking for 3 more players.
The former Chelsea and Leicester goalie Mark Schwarzer believes Danny Drinkwater has definitely got the ability to make the step up and play at Stamford Bridge. Drinkwater's been linked with a move to the champions as Antonio Conte looks to cover the departures of Nemanja Matic and Nathaniel Chalobah. Well, Schwarzer told the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast things don't look good at the Bridge, with reports of unrest in both the manager's office and the dressing room.
I think all the signs are potentially there, aren't they? I mean, it all probably started in February when Costa, there was a whole lot of rumours about Costa wanting to leave and the whole move about going to China, and he was left out of the next squad, and then all of a sudden he reappeared as if almost nothing had happened. But I think under the surface there was always rumbles, and come the summer, and then Costa coming out and saying that with the texts and showing that Conte's basically said to him he can leave. I think that was always going to cause problems. And the longer it goes on, there's always going to be that distraction for Chelsea. And then you add to that, you look at the players that he's let go, whether it's Conte, whether it's the board, whether it's a combination of both. As we know with Chelsea over the last probably 4 or 5 years, it is also about balancing the books.
Yeah, I think, by the way, I think it'd be an absolute disaster if Hazard was to leave this season. I mean, disaster.
Well, I think that's one player they cannot now afford to lose. I think early on in the season, in the off-season, had they have made the right recruitment, had they kept Costa in, had they have not had the distractions that they've had, I think, he's one that would have been a huge loss for them, but I think they could have moved on from it had they've got the adequate replacement. Now, considering all the problems they've had with bringing players in, with players leaving, the Costa thing still hanging over the club, that would be an enormous loss, and it'd be one that would cause a lot of problems from come the season.
I think at times in midfield they looked disjointed yesterday, especially the first 20 minutes. It looked like to me they missed Matic because Kante was left exposed there. But rumours flying around that Danny Drinkwater could be a Chelsea signing. Would he fit the bill for Chelsea?
Well, he's not a Matic, that's for sure. I mean, he's more of a creative sort of player, and I think at Leicester last season you saw without having Kante next to him, he struggled as well, as did the rest of the team. It's not just Danny Drinkwater. I think Danny Drinkwater is a very talented young man and has done incredibly well at Leicester. And I think he's capable of making the step up. Whether or not he's someone that would play week in, week out, whether he's good enough to make that step up to be a mainstream player in Chelsea's first 11, and obviously you're talking about Champions League football or not, that we'll only know once he makes that step, if that happens. And I think, but he's definitely got the ability.
Yeah, who's your top 3 here, Mark, this season? I know it's not easy because it looks tight, but who would you go 1, 2, 3?
Well, I'd say Manchester United first, closely followed by Manchester City. And then, I'm probably thinking along the lines of Liverpool possibly sneaking in there.
Mark Schwarzer speaking with the boys on the Sports Breakfast this morning. I can tell you a 7th wicket has gone down at Old Trafford, and it is the big one as far as England are concerned. Faf du Plessis, the South African captain, has just been caught off the bowling of James Anderson for 61, so it's 183 for 7. It means South Africa still need another 197 to win. Well, that's now just merely a formality. It's 3 wickets remaining. That is the bigger target, and there is still plenty of playing time for the rest of this evening, and of course a whole day tomorrow as well. England could have this one wrapped up this evening. Don't forget, Cricket Week is here on TalkSport 2 every Sunday with John Norman as he takes you around the world of cricket, both domestic, internationally, and all points in between. Cricket Week here on TalkSport 2.
TalkSport 2 Transfer Centre, tomorrow from noon on TalkSport 2.
With Toolstation, a helping hand for tradesmen, your best mate for the job.
TalkSport 2 brings you all the breaking news of all the big signings and all the lowdown on the latest rumours from the transfer markets. Right, move out the bus. You heard me. Move.
TalkSport 2 Transfer Centre, tomorrow from noon on TalkSport 2.
With Toolstation, a helping hand for tradesmen, your best mate for the job.
New Sky Sports is here. So now all our Sky TV customers can get our brand new channel dedicated to the Premier League for £18 a month. With 126 live games and a new weeknight debate show. Exciting, eh, Gary? If you don't have Sky TV, bundles start from £22 a month. Search New Sky Sports today to get our new Premier League channel. Cancellation requires 31 days notice. New Sky TV customers, £20 setup fee, 18-month contract.
It's here. It's one of over 1,000 great used vans, and it could be yours.
What's that coming over the hill? Van Monster. Van Monster.
Van Monster has a huge choice of used vans across the UK, from all the leading brands, all with 6 months warranty and AA cover, like these 2013 Peugeot Partners, from under £4,000 plus 20% VAT. Find your next van right now at vanmonster.com.
Sorry to interrupt, realise you're busy. That's why you didn't even really stop for lunch. Just a meal deal that you had to eat between the shop and work. Of course, you're also much too busy to suffer the discomfort of heartburn or indigestion, which can follow lunch on the go. Try Gaviscon Double Action. It gets to work instantly and lasts up to twice as long as antacids. Get dual relief from heartburn and indigestion with Gaviscon Double Action. Available in mint-flavoured chewable tablets for relief on the go. Gaviscon Double Action. Always read the label.
Bonjour, monsieur. Welcome to Chateau Talk Sport. What can I get you for a starter?
I'll have some live and exclusive Premier League commentary, please, Garcon.
Très bien, monsieur.
And I'll also have some exclusive coverage of the Championship and Leagues 1 and 2.
D'accord, monsieur.
And give me some live Champions League games too. And a side order of Europa League too.
Bien sûr, monsieur. Can I interest monsieur in the 2018 FIFA World Cup live from Russia at all?
No, I'm football stuffed.
Ah, go on, monsieur. It's only a teeny tiny World Cup.
I'll go on.
TalkSport's got enough live football to sate even the most voracious appetite for sport, with over 500 live games across the season.
On TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Bon appétit!
TalkSport 2, it's TalkSport today at just approaching 5:15 this Monday evening. The headlines: Ray Wilkins can't get his head around Chelsea selling Nemanja Matic to a rival. Brighton get themselves a proper player. And England Rugby sent home Manitou Alangi and Denny Solomona. However, soon to become one of those headlines, it certainly appears that there's going to be some movement on Virgil van Dijk's future in the coming days and weeks, because he has this evening announced in a statement that he has handed in a transfer request to Southampton. It's quite a lengthy statement, but I think it's probably worth reading all of it. Unfortunately, I feel I have no alternative after I was given notice of the club's intention to impose a disciplinary sanction against me of a fine equivalent to 2 weeks' wages. I will be appealing what I feel to be an unjustified sanction. and their inability to follow the correct disciplinary protocol in due course. Over the past 6 months, I've held numerous discussions with representatives of the board, the former manager, Claude Puel, as well as new manager, Maurizio Pellegrino, to inform them all of my desire to leave the club in search of a new challenge. I'm incredibly ambitious and want to achieve as much as I possibly can to fulfil my potential in what is a very short career as a professional footballer. I want to play European football again and challenge for major honours, and as such I would like Southampton to consider the interest in me from top clubs should it still exist. I've been left frustrated by the club's position, that I am not for sale, and I'm disappointed that inquiries from multiple top clubs have been consistently rebuffed. The period of time that I have spent injured and unable to play has put a number of things into perspective and made me realise just how important it is to take major opportunities should they arise. I have consistently relayed my feelings to senior management at Southampton in what I believe to be private and personal conversations. Disappointingly, these conversations have regularly found their way into the media. This is Virgil van Dijk's statement released asking for a transfer request from Southampton Football Club. That is not the end of the statement, though. It carries on. I would also like to make it clear that I have never once refused to train. I can confirm that I was asked about my frame of mind, and for all of the reasons mentioned above, I was open and honest in saying that I did not feel that I was in a settled mindset given the circumstances. Following this conversation, the manager explained that he only wanted players who he felt were 100% committed to Southampton, and told me I would therefore have to train away from the first team. As a proud professional, I am insulted by the suggestion that it was me who refused to train, and so feel it is important to point out the true version of events. I have very much hoped to retain the good relationship I've always enjoyed with everyone at the club, especially the fans, but unfortunately, in light of everything that's happened, this has now been seriously affected. I would like to make clear that I have nothing but gratitude to everyone at Southampton for giving me the opportunity to play in the Premier League. However, the time for me to move on is now, and I hope to be able to work with the club to find the best resolution to suit all parties. Well, Tony Cascarino was speaking with Russell Hargreaves on TalkSport 2 today on Sports Day and suggested that Virgil van Dijk could be a very useful signing for Chelsea.
Fantastic in the air, and he's 6'3", and you'd expect him to be. He glides across the ground. He's quick, very good technically. I feel that's the type of player that Chelsea desperately need. I still can't believe that he left Celtic and no bigger club than Southampton took him, because they were all prepared, the leading clubs in the Premier League, to say, well, OK, see how he goes somewhere else, a team that might be mid-table, and then if he works out, we'll go and pay a big fee for him. That's what clubs are doing now. They let them go somewhere else before they take them, and I think Van Dijk's the one that most clubs would want, because he can just do everything in the game, and the game is very simple for him. He doesn't overcomplicate it. Everything he does is simple and effective, which I think is a desperate need for Chelsea at the heart of their defence.
Well, Virgil van Dijk has indeed released that lengthy statement this evening to say that he is unhappy and will be appealing against the two-week wages fine of disciplinary action taken against him. But he has also handed in a transfer request, hoping that Southampton will now move on and enable him to move on into the future. If there's any reaction from Southampton, we'll of course bring it to you. But don't forget, Sports Day with Russ Hargreaves in the morning, and indeed TalkSport 2's Transfer Centre midday tomorrow. I'm sure there is going to be a rush of people now trying to activate that and try and get Virgil van Dijk onto their books. Elsewhere in football, Gary Cahill's admitted that after a first look at the new penalty shootout system, he's not a fan. Chelsea, of course, lost the Community Shield on spot kicks to Arsenal with the new ABBA system used for the first time. Cahill has said, first impression is, I'm not a fan. We were a couple of goals down after one penalty, so mentally that's different then when you've got 1-1-1-1. I went, and then obviously 2-1 or 3-1 down or whatever. Mentally, it's different, so I'm not a fan. Obviously, we won the toss and asked the team to see what everyone wanted to do, and we wanted to go first, so we went first. Well, the game was live on TalkSport with Ray Houghton and Sam Matterface.
One by Cahill, and Moses is coming in underneath it, turns it past the goalkeeper and smashes it home, and Chelsea lead inside a minute of the second half. Terrible defending by Arsenal, and it's Chelsea who lead in the Community Shield by 1-0. Pedro has been sent off. Chelsea, who had a man sent off in the FA Cup final against Arsenal, are reduced to 10 men in the FA Community Shield. Ball into the box for Kolasinac, who equalises seconds after. Chelsea are reduced to 10 men with a header at the far post past the stranded Thibaut Courtois. Wonderful ball into the box. Excellent header. Chelsea not marking properly, and it's Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1. There's the full-time whistle, and it will be penalty kicks that decide who wins the Community Shield. Olivier Giroud, a regular penalty taker, has placed the ball down to win the Community Shield. Left-footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. And Arsenal, who ended last season with a trophy, start the new campaign with 1-2. They have beaten Chelsea in the Community Shield on penalties.
Yesterday's action at Wembley. Well, the Arsenal captain Per Mertesacker has said that Alexis Sanchez is crucial to their chances of success this season. Arsene Wenger, of course, adamant the player is not going to be leaving, despite the likes of Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain being linked with him. Mertesacker's pleased. He's just still there.
Himself, being this goal scorer he always have been for us, it's going to be vital for the next season when we want to compete for trophies and for championships.
Well, Sanchez didn't feature yesterday. The former Arsenal winger Perry Groves telling Russ Hargreaves on Sports Day here on TalkSport 2 that Sanchez also isn't showing any signs that he's desperate to leave.
There's been a lot of conjecture in the papers, if Alexis Sanchez has a little snivel or, he sneezes, then he's got flu, and then is he trying to pull a fast one, not coming into training, is he sulking? But again, we saw him on Thursday, sort of behind the scenes, rather than just, training on the pitch. And he looked happy, his body language is good. He doesn't look like someone who's walking around like a bear with a sore head. So it's not an ideal situation by any means with Ozil, Chamberlain and Sanchez coming into the last year of their contracts. But they all seemed, pretty happy to me. So, and if your team wins, it makes everybody even happier.
What do you feel about whether or not there'll be one or two other faces coming in between now and the end of this summer transfer window? We've had Chelsea on the back of their loss talking, and their boss very, very tough about new faces coming in. Are Arsenal in a similar boat, or do you think they're a bit more along the line in their development?
I think the Arsenal squad is a bit further down the line. I still think that we need a couple of signings. I still think we need a real physical centre midfield player, maybe another centre half. But I think Chelsea are further back. I couldn't believe that they let Nemanja Matic go before they got someone in. So Chelsea, if you look at their first 11, although their new signings didn't play yesterday, their first 11 is probably a little bit stronger, but their squad is very, very light. And they've got the Champions League this year as well. And I think there's a few rumblings behind the scenes at Chelsea, because you can tell that Conte isn't very happy at the minute. And I'll be amazed if there's not at least 3 or 4 more signings for Chelsea, because that's exactly what they need. Because I said they've let most of their young players go out on loan, or they've sold them. So they look very, very light in their squad, whereas Arsenal's squad looks as if it's got a little bit more depth.
Winning the opener is key, isn't it? It's the first game of the Premier League season on Friday night, and I think 3 years in the last 4, the Gunners haven't done that.
Yeah, well, I would take losing the Charity Shield, the Community Shield, and getting your first 3 points on the first game of the season. The Community Shield is nice. It looks like I don't count it as a real trophy. You don't get disappointed if you don't win the Community Shield. It's good if you do win it, because you get a bit of sort of confidence. But I would take the 3 points. If Chelsea win their opening league game against Burnley, then the Community Shield defeat doesn't really mean anything.
Well, the former Gunners goalie David Seaman explained to the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast he thought it was an impressive afternoon's work.
When you looked at that, the way that they celebrated as well, it means a lot when they beat Chelsea. And to get a trophy, it's another trophy that's going to be in the team photo, which is always nice. But I was impressed with the way that they played.
Yeah, I thought he looked sharp the first 20 minutes. I thought Chelsea came into a little bit after that, but I think Arsenal were the better team over the 90.
Yeah, and I think what we saw is that, you know, if Arsenal can play their best game, you know, with their one touch and two touch and, you know, like really neat passes, that they can take apart most teams, you know, and I think it's a good confidence boost for the start of the season.
You got to feel for Mertesacker again, another head injury and claret everywhere. But I tell you what, the kid that came on, the Bosnian Kolasinac,
what you said it?
Yeah, what a debut at Wembley for him.
I know, it's been brilliant. You know, he had a good tournament in the summer as well. You know, he had some good games, and it reminds me of Oleg Luzhny, who used to play for us. You know, like plays with a lot of passion. You know, with his heart on his sleeve, and you know, and his forward runs look really good. And yeah, it's good to see, and it was great for him to score the goal.
Yeah. Now, I believe coming up first game, no Otso injured, no Ramsey, but Arsenal, I think in midfield they're okay. They've got numbers in there, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. You know, when you look at the players that were out, you know, the players that were on the bench, you know, it just shows you that the squad's not bad. You know, ideally, I'd like to see a strong midfield player going there, but you know, we'll see what happens with that. But other than that, I was quite happy with the squad.
I thought Danny Welbeck looked refreshed, recharged, hopefully injury-free. That'll be a bonus for the Arsenal.
Well, will they keep him, Quinny? You know, I read in the paper today, if Everton can't get Giroud, Welbeck's the next target.
Yeah, I think they'll keep him, because Danny's always been a quality player. You know, it's been the same with him with injuries. You know, it's just trying to get, you know, a full season out of him. A bit like with Sturridge, but yeah, from what I've seen of Welbeck, he still looks quality.
What about Sanchez? Where are we with that? Will he start? Will he be on the bench? Will he be frozen out?
I've no idea, mate. You know, it's like last season with Arsenal's contract, isn't it? You know, nobody knows what's happening. But looking at him on the pitch yesterday, you know, he seemed happy. You know, he wasn't sulking or anything like that. He was getting on with the lads. So hopefully he's going to be staying at the club.
Yeah, it's who do you think is between this year, David? You know, we hear there's problems at Chelsea now, and there's no doubt the squad, you know, they've got rid of so many players that Conte's now pleading with the board, you have to find me some.
Yeah, I think,
you know, who do you think's strong this year?
I think Manchester United will be stronger than last season, obviously with Lukaku as their main striker, but you know, I can't see Man City being like they were last season. I think they'll be much stronger this season. But yeah, then the Chelsea situation is strange. You know, last season they were almost unbeatable, and then there's all these problems going on. They lose a few players, and quality players, by the way, that they're losing.
Yeah.
You know, so that's making them a little bit weak. But it's all in the start of the season. If you get a good start, then the confidence works wonders.
Well, I hope so, because I want you to hear this, David. Let's hear from former Arsenal midfielder. Mers can, you know, he can put the boot in now and again if he feels strongly enough. But he was speaking on the Weekend Sports Breakfast yesterday. He was worried about Arsenal's chances this season.
I just can't see how Sanchez is going to stay. I don't see anything but six for Arsenal. I really don't. I sit there and try and work out and try and make a case for him, and I can't. I can't make a case. I mean, you know Lacazette better than me. You watch a lot more French football than me, and he is a good player. But you know, if Sanchez goes and he's there, I mean, the team's getting weakened straight away, and I just worry for Arsenal. I really do. I think if they got in the top four next year, I think that's a massive feat. Massive.
Do you think Mers is worried about the Thursday night, you know, Europa League? Is that why he's maybe saying sixth place, David?
A little bit. It's not unknown territory for Arsenal, but it's going to be different and difficult. But I know where Mers is coming from. You know, you don't want to be losing your top quality players, and that's what Sanchez is. You know, it's whether Arsenal digs his heels in and just makes him stay to the end of his contract. We'll have to wait and see. You know, it's a bit like Russian roulette, isn't it? You know, you make him stay, and then you lose out on a load of money. But
yeah,
you know, ideally, you want to give him a load of money to make him stay.
David Seaman speaking with the Sports Breakfast. Just a reminder of that breaking news in the last few minutes. Virgil van Dijk has announced in a lengthy statement that he has handed in a transfer request to Southampton. He is also appealing against the 2 weeks' wages fine that he was given. I can tell you England are closing in on victory at Old Trafford. 8th wicket has gone down. Rabada caught in the covers. 195 for 8. He goes to the successful bowler James Anderson. 3 for him, 3 for Moeen Ali. 2 wickets more for England for victory at Old Trafford. We'll keep you up to date during TalkSport today here on TalkSport 2.
At Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles, we understand how important it is to choose the right van for your business. So not only does the Volkswagen Caddy have city emergency braking as standard, meaning you're less likely to be involved in an accident, it also now comes with 2 free services and is available on contract hire for just £179 a month. That's right, you're in van heaven. Search Volkswagen Caddy to find out more. Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles, working with you. £537 initial rental and 20% VAT. Business users only until 1st of October 2017. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Volkswagen Commercial Vehicle Financial Services.
Score the biggest deal of the Premier League and save an unbeatable £900 versus Sky over 18 months with Britain's lowest price Sky Sports Bundle from TalkTalk. For just $28.45 a month, get award-winning TV, all 8 Sky Sports channels and unlimited broadband including line rental. But hurry, the big summer save ends 17th of August. Search TalkTalk TV now. TalkTalk. For everyone. Based on slower broadband speeds than BT and Virgin. Competitor contracts for 12 months. Sky has more channels. Contract and conditions apply.
Man, that Hypnos bed is comfortable. Time to get up, work to do. Shower, tick. Shave, tick. Dressed, next question. Time for all-you-can-eat brekkie with the fellas. Bacon, sausages and more bacon. Probably even some beans. Today is a big day. Because you are scaffolders. Whatever your story, this is a great place to start. Premier Inn. Premier You.
Breakfast prices and options may vary. Exclude certain locations.
Top Light Grey aerated concrete block, 215 by 100 by 440 mil. Was £1.17, now just 95p. Excludes VAT at 20%. Trade on.
TalkSport today here on TalkSport 2. The headlines had just gone 5:30. Virgil van Dijk has handed in a transfer request to Southampton. The former Chelsea player, Tony Cascarino, feels he would be a great signing for the Blues.
I feel that's the type of player that Chelsea desperately need. I still can't believe that he left Celtic and no bigger club than Southampton took him.
It's 2 more wickets for England's cricketers for victory at Old Trafford. No, it's not. Morné Morkel's just holed out. It's 1 more for victory needed. And England Rugby send Manu Tuolangi and Denny Solomona home from their training camp. Well, let's get some more on that rugby union story. England have sent both Manu Tuolangi and Denny Solomona home from their training camp for what they have called team culture issues. No more information has been revealed, although it is understood to be an alcohol-related problem. Well, Tuolangi's not played for the national side since March 2016, but head coach Eddie Jones was only praising him last Friday.
It's nice to see him back training, back into it, and again, he was a player that demolished New Zealand, and we need those sort of players. Well, if he can get himself fit, definitely, and his motivation and desires right, definitely, he can be an outstanding player for us and add to the depth of the squad.
Well, Tuolangi's club, the Leicester Tigers, have said they're disappointed to learn that Manu has been sent home. Head coach Matt O'Connor adding, this is particularly disappointing because Manu has worked so hard to get back to fitness after long-term injury and get back into the England squad. The matter has been dealt with by the RFU and will talk to Manu on his return to the club. Meanwhile, Sale Sharks director of rugby Steve Diamond has said with regard to Denny Solomona, this is disappointing news because Denny's worked so hard since joining the club last December. He hasn't had much time off and his performances earned him a place on the recent England tour of Argentina. This matter has been dealt with by the RFU and I'll speak with Denny on his return to Carrington. Staying with the Tigers for a moment, they have themselves a new winger. England's Johnny May has joined them from Gloucester. Second row Ed Slater has gone to Kingsholm as part of that deal. Meanwhile, in Rugby League, the Halifax prop Ryan Boyle is facing a ban. He's been given a Grade B dangerous contact charge after being placed on report for an incident in their game against Hull KR. Well, this weekend, of course, the EFL was back with you. We brought you 4 live commentary games from the Sky Bet Championship across both TalkSport and TalkSport 2. And we also had the return of Around the Grounds on Saturday as we brought you every single goal from across the EFL Championship.
Given away by Ayala to Bonatini! Wolves won! Middlesbrough 0! Here's a chance for Washington and he scored! Connor Washington! It's Sheffield United 1, Brentford 0, and it's Billy Sharp.
Bristol City 3, Barnsley 0. It's the Bobby Reid show. He's made 1 and scored 2.
Ipswich 1, Birmingham 0, and it's a debut goal for Joe Garner.
Right-footed, and it's in the bottom right-hand corner. Manoni goes the wrong way, and it's the second goal of the afternoon for Connor Washington. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Reading 0.
And it's a penalty to Preston North End, which Johnson is going to take in front of the home supporters, away to my left-hand side. Up he steps, strikes it, and scores.
4 minutes remaining. It's Burn Albion 0, Cardiff City 1, and what a goal! A stunning solo strike. 2 minutes remaining. It is now Fulham 1, Norwich City 1.
Hutton is bursting down the right-hand side. He's been fed. It's into Hogan, who misses it. Comes through to Agbonlahor. He won't miss it. He slams it home. And Bruce's band of brothers are as quick as Usain Bolt out of the blocks. It's taken them less than 7 minutes to score. And Aston Villa start the championship season in style. They lead by a goal to 0. Fraser Campbell for Hull City, trying to rev them up, running diagonally from right to the centre, in towards Hernandez. Tries to take it on, is blocked by Hutton, comes back on the right side for Grzycki. Grzycki with a cross, it falls towards Bowen, left-footed volley past the goalkeeper Johnston, and Hull City are back in the game. It's 1-1. To the penalty area, and he's in, swept it quite beautifully. Calvin Phillips with the goal. Running up against Felix Speedbound, and he's blasted it straight down the middle, and Speedbound dive to his right.
A busy weekend of football, and of course it was here on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. We will continue our roundup of that in just a moment, but I can tell you England have won the Test match at Old Trafford. It has gone down in an absolute heap in the end for South Africa. Bowled out for 202. They therefore lose by 177 runs. Moeen Ali finished with 5 for 69 from only 19 overs and 5 balls. So England take the series 3-1. We'll get some reaction just as soon as we can from our cricket editor, John Norman. But England have won that Test match at Old Trafford. Well, the last couple of goals that you heard in that roundup of the weekend were from our commentary game here on TalkSport 2 yesterday afternoon, as we brought to you Bolton's game against Leeds United, the visitors winning 3-2 at the Macron. Thomas Christiansen therefore starts with a win in his spell in charge at Leeds United. He spoke with our reporter Don McGuinness.
I think the team made a good performance in the first half, scored nice goals. And I think we deserve the win in the game today. Of course, very pleased because it's important to start well in the league and take the 3 points. Only one team has taken until now the 3 points away, which Cardiff and now us. I'm happy for that because it's important also to win the games away, and for that I'm more happy.
Very bright, as you say, particularly in the first half. You taking your chances and a nice routine with the corner as well to set you on your way. Is that something you've worked on?
Well, we give it a lot of importance in the set pieces, and sometimes these things, when you work well and you do it well, get its results.
And you say that obviously that you're pleased with many aspects. Were there some aspects of the performance that you feel you'll need to work on?
Well, I think we have to be a little bit more aggressive, but right now I'm happy with what I saw. The team was compromised. They took a turn for each other, and this is the team spirit that we need in the team. And I believe they show this winner mentality today, that they wanted to win also when the situation is 3-2 down, you have to give more than you have to keep the results, and they did it.
Lots of changes at the club, at the top to the players, yourself, and you can see with 5,000 travelling supporters, they seem very happy, full of confidence and optimism. Is that the way you would see Leeds United now this season?
This is what we're working on. The league is still young, first game finished, and we have a lot of work to do, many things to improve, but this is the first step, important step, that when you start with a win away, you can not ask for more.
Well, don't forget the 72 on TalkSport 2 is coming up when we finish in 20 minutes' time here on TalkSport 2 to take you around the whole action from the EFL of the weekend. Now, I said earlier on, this could go down quite quickly, and indeed it has at Old Trafford. England have clinched a 3-1 series victory over South Africa in the Investec series. Moeen Ali has once again mopped up the tail. All the details from TalkSport's cricket editor, John Norman.
Well, in the end, it was a comfortable win for England, as it promised to be for much of the day. Despite a 123-run partnership between Hashim Amla and Faf du Plessis, the midway section of the day belonged to South Africa, but the damage long since been done, and when the end came, boy, did it come quickly. 163 for 3. Became 183 for 7, all out for 202. Moeen Ali with another fifer. He ends as the series leading wicket taker. 25 wickets in this series, and when you consider the valuable runs in the series as well, he could be the main candidate to take the Player of the Series award. Recriminations for South Africa, well, there'll be plenty. They are a team that is rebuilding in transition, or as Goffey just said, just have a rubbish batting lineup, but simply not good enough. Time and time again throughout this series. England, well, they're not without their own weaknesses. Surely looking for a new opener, possibly a new number 5, whilst there is still a samey feeling to the bowling lineup in conditions like we've seen at Old Trafford, with dark cloud cover throughout, a seeming swinging pitch. That's not a problem, but when they go to hotter climes in about 4 months' time, it may well be so. But for tonight, it'll be about celebration. England have won this series 3-1. They've beaten a side ranked 3 places above them in the table, and they've done so quite comfortably. South Africa, well, they'll just be pleased to get on the plane back home. A 3-1 series test defeat, are hot on the heels of the 2-1 defeat in the ODIs, a 2-1 defeat in the T20s, and let's not even talk about what happened to them in the Champions Trophy. So a chasing a couple of months for them. England with plenty to be positive about, but they won't rest on their laurels. A weakened West Indies side awaits. Cannon fodder for some, but whether that's ideal preparation for the challenges ahead, we'll just have to wait and see. But for now, it's about tasting the taste of victory. That's what England are going to do today after they have beaten South Africa handsomely. They've won by 177 runs to win the series 3-1.
Thank you very much, John. And don't forget, John is here every Sunday with Cricket Week on TalkSport 2. All the news from around the cricketing world, the domestic game, test matches as well, everything covered with John Norman. And normally they have an absolutely stellar lineup as well of guests to take you around the world. So if you like your cricket, you definitely need to be with John Norman on a Sunday evening here on TalkSport 2.
As the thrilling English Football League drama continues, make sure you stay on the ball on TalkSport 2 with Sky Sports. Hear up-to-the-minute team news, match previews and get essential comment and opinion every match day from TalkSport and Sky Sports pundits. Stay on the ball throughout the season on TalkSport 2 with Sky Sports. Introducing the new dedicated Sky Sports football channel with live football from around the globe, including the EFL, SPFL, La Liga, World Cup qualifiers and more.
At TradePoint, we've got trade-exclusive pricing on all kitchens, like the Sanford Textured Oak Effect Slab Kitchen, starting from just £572. Plus, we've got up to 12 kitchens stocked in-store, ready to take away today. Price based on an 8-unit example. Excludes VAT at 20%. Trade only. TradePoint.
Who was the second Prime Minister of the United Kingdom? The second person to run a 4-minute mile? What about the second album you bought? Not sure? Here's something you will remember. Being one of the first to test drive the all-new Ford Fiesta, saving you £500. Simply visit your local Ford dealership before the 31st of August. Ford. Together, we go further.
Test drive a Ford vehicle between the 1st of July and 31st of August 2017 and receive a £500 customer saving, including VAT, off the recommended on-the-road price of selected new Ford vehicles contracted and registered between the 1st of July and 31st of August 2017. Excludes Car Plus, Focus RS and Mustang models. Retail customers only at participating Ford dealers.
Typical. You fall out of bed extra early to beat the traffic, just for everyone to have the same idea. Decision time. You can either brave this ocean of red lights or take the next left and fill up on a sausage and egg McMuffin from McDonald's.
With over 800 restaurants open at 5 a.m. McDonald's. We make breakfast. Served until 10:30 a.m.
It's Jock Around the Clock at Talk Sport.
All next season, I'm gonna listen to Talk Sport to hear La Liga, Premier League and FA Cup. Here's a reason. It's the place that you'll get more Champions League and EPL and World Cup. 'Cause I will hear 500 games, full fixtures, not just match reports. And you will hear 1,000 goals when you tune in to hear Talk Sport. Pre-match build-up, live commentary. We're gonna bring that bonny game right home to you. Every corner, all the drama, you're gonna hear it on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Jock till you drop with 500 games of live football this season on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
It's TalkSport today here on TalkSport 2, just gone 5:45 this Monday evening. The headlines: Virgil van Dijk has handed in a transfer request to Southampton. He said he's also going to appeal against the club's fine to him as well. England have won at Old Trafford by 177 runs and take the series against South Africa 3-1. And England rugby send home Manu Tuolangi and Denny Solomona. But yes, in the last half an hour or so, Virgil van Dijk has confirmed he has handed in a transfer request. In a statement, he said, "It's with regret that I can confirm that I have handed in a transfer request to leave Southampton Football Club. Unfortunately, I feel I have no alternative after I was given notice of the club's intention to impose a disciplinary sanction against me of a fine equivalent to 2 weeks' wages. I will be appealing what I feel to be an unjustified sanction after their inability to follow the correct disciplinary protocol in due course. Over the past 6 months, I've held numerous discussions with representatives of the board, the former manager, Claude Puel, as well as the new manager, Maurizio Pellegrino, to inform them all of my desire to leave the club in search of a new challenge. I'm incredibly ambitious and want